Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge right into the heart of the latest NBA buzz. We cut through the noise, to get straight to the insights you really need.
Yeah, excited to get into it.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into some crucial offseason moves shaping the league, the most intriguing team schedules that could really define a season, and of course, the players poised to break out.
Next big names, yeah.
Exactly. Our mission is to equip you with those essential nuggets of knowledge, give you those aha moments about what's really happening.
Let's unpack it.
All right, so the NBA schedule release, it's not just dates on a calendar, right? It's really a strategic roadmap. It can totally influence a team's whole season.
Oh, absolutely. It dictates travel, rest, matchups. It's huge.
We've poured over analyses for 4 key teams. Let's talk about the quirks, the challenges in their 82-game slates. Maybe start with the Houston Rockets. They seem ambitious, talking about 60 wins.
Yeah, the Rockets' schedule is, well, it's interesting. Designed for a strong finish, I say. They do have 17 of their first 26 on the road, which, isn't ideal early on.
That's tough.
But, and this is key, 14 of their final 22 games are at home. For an older team, a veteran roster like theirs, that late season home cooking is absolutely crucial. Helps manage fatigue, make that final push.
And the league clearly sees them as a big draw again. They've got, 28 nationally televised games, tied for 5th most?
Yeah, right up there with the Thunder, Warriors, Lakers, Knicks.
That's the KD effect, right? But what does that spotlight really mean for them?
It's definitely partly Durant, but it's more than just eyeballs. It's a huge vote of confidence. It tells that young core, hey, you're playing with a legend, the stakes are high.
Right. Raises the pressure.
Exactly. And for Durant, it keeps him on the biggest stage. That's why he's there. Legacy, leading them back to contention.
Okay, digging deeper into the travel. 14 back-to-backs. That sounds like a lot.
It's actually pretty standard, around the league average. But here's the kicker. 8 of those involve no intercity travel.
Ah, okay. So same city games. How big a deal is that?
It's a massive hidden advantage. Seriously. Think about the grind of flying, checking in, different beds, cutting that out 8 times.
Yeah, I can see that.
It drastically cuts down fatigue, especially for the older guys like Durant, maybe Van Vliet. Those 8 stay-at-home back-to-backs, they're golden.
So, given all that, let's talk about their start. You mentioned the road games, but the opponents, they look like strong favorites in 9 of their first 10. Only really tough one is opening night against OKC.
That's right. And that could lead to a truly dominant start. I mean, we're talking 8-2, maybe 9-1.
Or even 10-0.
Potentially. A shocking 10-0 isn't out of the question. That kind of early momentum, it's invaluable for confidence, for establishing that identity, especially trying to jump into that top tier in the West.
And there's another quirk, right? They only play some of those top West teams 3 times instead of 4.
Yeah, exactly. The Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers, Wolves, Clippers, Warriors. They only get 3 cracks at each instead of the usual 4.
How does that help strategically?
Well, in a brutal Western Conference, getting a slightly easier path, even by just a few games, means fewer really grueling nights. Less wear and tear against your direct playoff rivals.
More chances against perceived lesser teams.
Precisely. More opportunities to stack up those wins.
Okay. So Vegas has their over-under win total at 55.5. They hit 52 last year. Probably could have got 55 if they didn't, punt the last few games.
Right.
So with this schedule, the KD factor, the improved defense you mentioned, can they hit 60? Can they smash that over?
I think it's a very real possibility. Look, if the defense is top 3, which it could be, and the offense is top 10, which it should be, and if Durant plays, say, 65, 70 games, even at his age, giving them 34, 35 minutes, then 60 wins is definitely in play. That mix of youth and vets, they might really push for that number 1 seed, maybe try to avoid OKC and Denver in the early rounds. It feels like a strategic goal.
Okay, interesting. Let's shift from a potential West juggernaut to the East, the Orlando Magic. They feel poised to make a statement, right? And their schedule isn't boring, lots of opportunity. They open at home October 22nd against Miami.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating there, for the first time ever in franchise history, the Magic start with 3 straight home games.
Wow, really? First time?
Yep. That's a golden opportunity to build on that strong home record they had last year, get some rhythm, build confidence early.
They do have their longest road trip later, 5 games in mid-December. That'll test them.
Sure. But look at their profile now. 14 national TV games this season. NBC, Peacock, Amazon Prime. That's up from just 5 last year.
Big jump, 6th most in the East.
Exactly. The league is clearly saying, hey, pay attention to Orlando. They see them as compelling, definitely up and coming.
But they've also got 14 back-to-backs like Houston, but 5 are home and home. That helps too, right? Less travel fatigue again.
Yeah, mitigates it a bit. Their trickiest month looks like March 17 games. That's a grind.
Oof.
But honestly, those first 20 games or so are crucial. That's where we'll see if they've really arrived, especially after adding Desmond Bane. They need to integrate him, show they're contenders. That early stretch is a big test.
Okay, next stop. Memphis Grizzlies. They've got a challenging slate, seems like, but some opportunities too. They start with 3 at home against teams probably not title contenders. Pelicans, Heat, Pacers.
Right, and that's huge for them, especially with JJJ May out to start and Edey already ruled out. They need to build some confidence early, find their footing.
But then it gets rough quick, doesn't it? That stretch from Halloween into mid-November.
Oh, yeah. Arguably their toughest stretch of the whole season. 10 games. Lakers, Raptors, Pistons, Rockets, Mavs, Thunder, Knicks, Celtics, Cavs, Spurs.
Yikes. That's a gauntlet.
It really is. It'll severely test that young, kind of new-look roster, especially without maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. initially.
And only 10 nationally televised games for them. Seems low. Most are packed into January and February.
Yeah, 6 of the 10 are between Jan 15th and Feb 25th. So that's really their window to show the country, hey, we belong.
They also have that Europe trip in January. Berlin, London. How does that impact things?
Well, it's great exposure, but it definitely leads to a more taxed schedule later on. March, like for Orlando, looks brutal for Memphis. 16 games, 4 back-to-backs, that kind of strain. It could really challenge young guys like Jalen Wells. Tests their depth, their resilience.
But they do end with a decent homestand, right? Late March, early April, 6 games against a mix of teams.
Yeah, Spurs, Bulls, Suns, Mavs, Raptors. It's definitely an opportunity late in the season to make a move if they can capitalize on being home.
All right, finally, let's talk OKC. The Thunder, clearly a league favorite now, a staggering 34 nationally televised games, tied for the most.
Tied for the most, yeah.
Yeah.
Opening night, Christmas, MLK Day.
Yeah.
They're getting the prime slots.
What's the thinking there from the NBA?
It's a clear bet, right? On their past performance, their future growth, that star power, they're positioning them as a team you either love or love to hate.
Yeah.
In either way. You're watching. You are definitely watching. That makes for must-see TV, and the league absolutely knows it.
And a huge advantage for them. League low 13 back-to-backs. Compare that to Philly or Denver with 16? That's a big difference, isn't it?
It's a tremendous advantage.
Yeah.
And fewer back-to-backs just means more recovery, less wear and tear, hopefully a healthier roster come playoff time. It's like a subtle gift from the schedule makers.
Their overall schedule is seen as favorable, too. 22nd strength of schedule.
Yeah, partly because, they get to play themselves. It helps. And it's balanced. 10 rest advantage days, 10 rest disadvantage days. Pretty fair overall.
Okay, but digging deeper, I saw this brutal stretch. Late December to late January, no consecutive off days at all.
Yeah, that's a tough period. Nonstop grind.
And this seems weird. If they make the NBA Cup final on December 16th, they have a back-to-back the next night against the Clippers. Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of resting guys for the Cup?
It absolutely does. It's a real head-scratcher.
Yeah.
You want the Cup to be this exciting midseason thing, but then you immediately put one of the finalists, potentially, in a really tough spot the very next day.
Seems counterproductive.
Totally. It shows the league is maybe still figuring out how to balance these new things without overtaxing players or, messing with competitive integrity. That specific back-to-back is, it's awkward. I'll have to manage that carefully.
Okay, so we've navigated the schedule minefield. But seasons aren't just won on paper, right? It's about the moves off the court, too, the chess moves.
Definitely.
And speaking of strategy, let's unpack this recent Miami Heat trade. It seems small, but it says a lot about how teams are thinking now, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Haywood Highsmith trade to Brooklyn for just a 2032 second-rounder. On the surface, pretty minor, but the main driver, getting under the luxury tax line.
A classic NBA financial move.
Exactly. Crucial in today's landscape.
But they did more than just save money. They created a $5.6 million trade exception and opened up 2 roster spots. They're down to 13 players now. What does that allow them to do?
No, that's the real story here. It gives them immediate flexibility, like serious flexibility. They have trade capital, now the pick, that big exception, so they can take on salary without sending much back. Plus the open roster spots.
So they're positioned to make a move.
Perfectly positioned. If the right player becomes available, they can pounce.
And Highsmith's injury played a role too, right? Meniscus out 8-10 weeks.
Yeah, that factored in. He's a solid defender, a good glue guy.
But Miami finds those guys, right?
They have an incredible track record of finding and developing those types of defensive-minded role players. So it suggests they felt they could replace his production, making the financial flexibility and the future pick more valuable than keeping an injured guy.
So what does this mean for the Heat moving forward? Pat Riley always wants to compete. Is this quiet off-season just setting the stage for a busy trade deadline?
I would absolutely expect that. Don't be surprised if this is the calm before the storm. With that exception, those roster spots, Miami is set up to be very active near the deadline. Could we see them go after a Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, maybe even Terry Rozier?
Interesting possibilities.
If they feel they need more scoring or another piece to climb the East, yeah, expect them to make calls.
Okay, let's switch gears again. Beyond the trades, let's talk about the next wave. Which young guys are really set to make a leap this season? Who are you watching?
All right, breakout candidates.
Yeah.
First up, I got to go with Franz Wagner in Orlando.
Okay, yeah. He's already pretty good.
He is. He made a jump last year.
Yeah.
But his three-point shooting, it really dipped. Like 29%, 28% the last two regular seasons, and then only 19% in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's rough.
If he fixes that shot, gets it consistently back up, he could genuinely become a top 15, top 20 player in this league. First All-Star, maybe even All-NBA. Especially with Bane there now. That shot is the big swing skill for him.
Huge potential there if the shot comes around. Who else is on your radar?
Got to mention Victor Wembanyama. I mean, the potential is obviously sky high, maybe a top 5 player someday soon.
Yeah.
What's interesting, though, his rim volume, like how often he finished right at the basket, was kind of low for his size. Now, pairing him with De'Aaron Fox, that pick and roll could lead to way easier points for Wemby.
More lobs, more finishes.
Exactly. His three-point shot did tick up last year, 32 to 35%, which is good. And putting better defenders around him just lets his own elite defense shine even brighter. He could dominate.
Sounds like his efficiency could just skyrocket. Who's next?
In OKC, gotta watch Chet Holmgren. You could argue he's already the best defender in basketball.
Wow, bold claim.
Well, he's an elite rim protector who can also switch on to guards seamlessly. It's incredible fluidity.
Yeah.
Now, health is the big question, obviously, after those 2 major injuries.
Yeah, always a concern.
But if he stays healthy, remember his pre-injury numbers, like 18 points, 9 boards, nearly 3 blocks, shooting 40% from 3, his two-way impact next to SGA and Jalen Williams, that could push OKC even higher.
Okay, health permitting, he's huge. Any surprises on the list? Maybe someone not quite as hyped.
How about Alperen Sengun in Houston?
Ah, interesting. With KD there now.
Exactly. Playing next to Durant should fundamentally free up Sengun's game. He won't see nearly as many double teams, less defensive swarming in the paint.
So better looks?
Better looks, yeah, should boost his scoring efficiency. But also, it lets him showcase that incredible passing. I think his assist numbers could climb towards 6, maybe 7 per game. His efficiency dipped last year in what I'd call kind of an unhealthy offensive ecosystem.
Makes sense.
But now, with Durant, with Van Vliet setting things up, he's poised for an all-NBA type season. I really believe that. He's going to flourish.
Okay, one more. Maybe a real dark horse.
My dark horse pick is Andrew Nembhard for the Pacers.
Ooh, okay. With Halliburton out?
Precisely. With Tyrese unfortunately sidelined, Nembhard is going to be thrust into a much bigger on-ball role. And what's super intriguing is his playoff shooting last year, 48%, then 46.5% from 3.
Right, better than his regular season, right?
Massively better. He was like 29% in the regular season. It suggests he plays better with more rhythm, more volume. We already know he's one of the best guard defenders out there. He locked up Brunson.
Yeah, he was impressive defensively.
So now, with way more offensive opportunity, could he make a dark horse all-star run? It sounds crazy, but this is his moment. I wouldn't rule it out.
Wow. Okay. That's a spicy one. Nembhard for all-star. Love it. All right, let's tackle this gap year idea. We've heard it tossed around for the Pacers, for the Celtics, especially after Tatum and Halliburton went down with those Achilles injuries. Is that fair? Should fans just kind of write off this season for them?
You know, the term gap year, it really implies this season just doesn't matter. Like, everybody shut your eyes for 12 months, nothing to see here. And that's just... it's incredibly misleading. And frankly, it's unfair to the guys still playing, the coaches.
Right. These are still talented teams.
Exactly. These are the last 2 Eastern Conference champions we're talking about. They won't just, suck. They still have real talent. And more importantly, they have crucial objectives this season.
So yeah, maybe not championship contenders without their superstars, but what are those objectives then?
It's more than just taking a gap, right? It's got to be about development evaluation.
Precisely. That's the word, evaluation. For
Wow.
Boston, without Tatum, it's a chance to really figure out which of these newer guys, like maybe Luka Garza, Josh Minott, actually fit long-term with Jaylen Brown and Derek White, who steps up.
See what they've got.
Yeah, and for the Pacers, they're already younger. Guys like Nembhard, like Benedict Mathurin, they're going to be forced into much bigger roles, more on-ball reps, more leadership responsibility, that kind of experience. It's absolutely invaluable for their growth down the line.
And maybe it allows for some experimentation, too. Less pressure to win every single night, try different lineups, see what clicks.
For sure. If a player doesn't quite pan out in that bigger role, maybe there's more leeway to adjust later. It's about finding an identity that might actually look a bit different from when Tatum or Halliburton come back.
We also can't ignore the injury itself. An Achilles tear.
Yeah.
That's brutal. It's not just physical recovery, is it? Not at all. There's a huge mental hurdle. Trusting your body again, especially on those explosive moves, pushing off. It takes time. That uncertainty around the Stars' return just highlights how important it is for these other guys to step up now, build their own confidence, and keep the team competitive.
Okay, but this raises a really interesting question then. What happens to the team dynamics? You'll have Jaylen Brown, you'll have Pascal Siakam acting as clear #1 options all season. They define their roles, lead the team.
Right.
How does that impact things when Tatum or Halliburton do return? Does the hierarchy shift back? Does it create friction? How does that chemistry work?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? This season will forge new leadership roles, new dynamics. When the Stars come back, there's going to be an adjustment. Everyone has to kind of figure out their place again.
So it's not a wasted year, it's an evaluation year.
Yeah, exactly. An evaluation year. A crucial one. The goal isn't necessarily wins and losses. It's about answering as many questions as possible about the roster. Who fits? Who developed? Who can handle a bigger role? If they come out of this season with clear answers on personnel and maybe even strategic direction moving forward,
Then it's a success.
then they've absolutely succeeded. Regardless of the final record, that knowledge they gain this year, it's invaluable for building back towards contention when their stars are healthy.
Okay, makes sense. So today, we've really dug in. We looked at the strategic schedules for the Rockets, Magic, Grizzlies, Thunder, unpacked that sneaky good Heat trade, highlighted some potential breakout stars, and kind of reframe this whole gap year thing for the Pacers and Celtics.
Yeah, hopefully you listening feel much more plugged into some of the underlying stories, the key decisions that are really shaping what's coming this NBA season. Give you that edge beyond just the box scores.
So, the big question to leave you with. As the season unfolds, which of these young players we talked about will truly seize their moment, who won't just break out, but actually fundamentally redefine their team's future? Something to watch for.
Definitely.
Like and subscribe for more.